Okay. Alright, Falcon Streak 02, Slurpathon submission for Metroid Fusion Randomizer. This is going to be a co-op race, a race against Story of the Lich. What we're going to have is randomized item locations. We're going to have randomized sector entrance. We're going to have randomized connector tube entrances, and all items are question marked out, so we don't know what they are until we pick them up. So no peeking of items. We're going to get going here. Estimated time is going to be 90 minutes, and we will obviously depending on placements, we shouldn't really go over 90 minutes. But this could be done in about a 45-minute run, give or take. So, with that, we will get things started. So about the first minute of the run, we're going to see what the sectors shuffled are first. It looks like we got access to 2 and 6 right away. And then 4 and 3 are locked behind level 1 doors, and 1 and 5 are locked behind level 2 doors. Okay. So, what do we need to do in order to complete this run? We need to collect missiles in order to damage large core X's. We need to collect plasma and charge beams in order to defeat the SAX at the end of the game. And we need to unlock the level 4 locks on the doors in order to trigger the final fight of the game. Along the way, we're going to have to collect a lot more power-ups and whatnot. But it's all going to be dependent, obviously, on placements and what we get to do here. So, in the beginning, there's only one check that's available to us. It's at the top of the operations deck here. So, this is always going to be the same every seed that we do. The first check is going to have one of 3 possible items on it. It's either going to be missiles, morph ball, or speed booster. And that's going to determine exactly where we need to go to start the seed off. We also have random palettes for all the sprites and whatnot as well, so we can get some really funky color combinations that are very interesting. And we're going to get a missile seed to start us off with, which is actually the vanilla version of this game. So with missiles, there's only one route that we can take. So this is actually probably the easiest randomized start for us. We're just going to continue down the side path here. And again, this is exactly where you would go if you played the vanilla version of this game. So, we're just going to do some basic platforming down the tunnels here. There's going to be a number of actual checks down this way. And along the way here, we're going to need to find Morph Ball. And speaking of the devil, the boss that we're going to fight at the end of this pathway requires Morph Ball to escape. So, that was kind of a given that was going to happen. We also have bombs now, that's an incredible pickup. A lot of times in this game, you can get soft locked depending on where you go and what power-ups you have. So getting bombs actually really is valuable for not, helping to avoid some of those soft locks. They still will happen. So you'll see us saving our game. Oh my goodness. Idor is, there we go, not cooperating. You will see us save continuously, almost pretty much every time we enter a new sector, until we feel comfortable with what we have. You'll see here it says we picked up missile data, but we already picked up missiles before. So in this game, there's many different grades of missiles. The first pack we picked up was super missiles. Then we picked up just regular missiles, so now they have a little bit extra power behind them. And we've also picked up Ice Beam as well, which is really nice. So now we have the ability to freeze enemies, we can make platforms, we can basically just help escape a lot better. And our beam is a little bit stronger, so every upgrade does provide value. Even though the first one said we had super missiles and then we picked up regular ones, it actually does make them stronger overall. As evidenced by us one-shotting that large X. Okay, so we're going to have some basic backtracking now. We've now gotten a number of power-ups. With the Morph Ball, we're able to get into the different sectors of the run. Like I said, they're randomized what order they can be done in, and the first 2 we have access to are 2 and 6. We're going to be going immediately into Sector 2. As Sector 2 has the level 1 door locks behind it, and you don't need any power-ups in order to get that opened up. So that's where we're going to go right away. There's one other pickup we can do along the way. with the morph ball. We're going to be grabbing that in just a second, and then we will make our way down and into Sector 2. The second E-Tank is beautiful. Alright. So we need a morph ball to get through there. And now, just in case you didn't see them on the map, on the wall right here too, it does show the order of the sectors. So 241 to the left, 635 to the right. So we're going to do it down into Sector 2 here. You can see immediately the new sprite tile set. This one's very purple. And again, we're going to safety save, just in case you get stuck somewhere. At least we have a point where we can backtrack to. And the possibility of that happening during the run is very real. Alright, so the level 1 door locks right up here. Just another room away. Please. You may notice that Samus, her speed is much faster when she's running on the ground versus being in the air. So we're all going to try to, as much as possible, just keep her running. Even when you get all the power-ups, it's still just faster for her to run normally. So the less time we can spend in the air with her, the better overall. Okay, now that we have the level door unlocked, all these blue doors are now open to us. And that's going to just allow us to get a few more spots opened up. Oh, wow. Okay, so with high jump and jump ball, now we actually can complete most of Sector 2. Between the bombs, the morph ball, and the high jump, we're able to really do a large portion of this area. Let's go freeze that guy. A lot of times when you were using Samus, just using the traditional bombs, you're going to see us stand Samus up. When she's in ball form, it will spring her into the air and just kind of lose a little bit of time. So we just kind of have her in a crouched position or standing position, the bomb doesn't affect her. You see there, we just picked up the charge beam. So we now have our first required item of the run. Right there. Picking up an E-Tank is never a bad thing. And we're going to go down deeper into Sector 2 here. Without jump ball and all the other power-ups, this would absolutely be a soft lock. But because we have those items, we can actually get out of here now. Alright, so the great things about Sector 2 is there's a lot of items in this area. So generally speaking, we're going to find some sort of progression for ourselves down here, hopefully. Okay, so coming into this area, there's going to be, again, just a number of pickups. We're also going to get our second boss fight pretty soon. Just a couple minutes away. And that's actually going to change the look of this world. If you see right now, there's all these spiky caterpillar-looking guys. Ooh, that's beautiful. They're actually going to, once we defeat the boss in here, they're all going to kind of go into a cocoon form. And then eventually they'll spring out into winged creatures. That'll be a little bit later on. Which we may or may not even see them, depending on how the seed breaks down. Okay, so we're gonna climb up here. There's a number of checks all along this left side of this shaft that we're gonna be going up and down a few times. Okay, so Power Bombs just opens up a whole lot more potential areas to go. The only tough part about Power Bombs is that you can only refill them with red X in this game. So, whereas regular bombs are infinite. And the regular bombs also detonate faster. So, try to only use Power Bombs when absolutely mandatory. So, doing those checks actually is a little bit slow, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to come back here with the gravity suit later on, so... the gravity suit would allow us to walk through water without slowing down, but I can't guarantee that's going to happen, so... we're just going to do it now. See how this plays out. Alright, more missiles is fine. She wanted to use that guy just to jump a little bit faster. Samus's jump speed is vertically is much better than her climbing speed, so. Alright, that side is done for the time being. Alright, so we're just going to be coming straight across over here to our second boss fight. Since I have charge beam, we actually can defeat it. Our missile count is a little bit lower than I'd like it to be. Okay. Wide beam is actually a really good pickup to have too. Our beam strength just went through the roof. Not required to beat the seed, but still very helpful. Alright, we have 15 missiles and charge beams, so we're going to have to be a little bit economical with this fight here. This guy's just going to hop around random times. Eventually he'll open up the bottom like that. And that's our cue to damage for now. After this, it's going to just be the long escape out of Sector 2. We want to try to destroy those large core X's as close to the position where we're going to be able to collect the item as possible when we're doing this. Just because once you kill it, that thing will bounce around for a few seconds. But if you can kill it right where it's going to have its final resting place, you can actually just collect the item right away. So the closer we can get to that, the better. Okay, now that we've done the boss fight, you're going to see all those spiky caterpillar-looking guys. Now they are cocooned like I said they would be. Which is good, because it actually allows us... I mean, we got up here anyway, but in case you didn't know how to do it all properly, you can now get out of this sector. And there's one more pickup we're going to make here. And we are done with Sector 2 for now. I mean, there are a couple items or checks that we can't do down here that we may have to come back to for cleanup. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Actually, excuse me, there's going to be one more I'm going to do right here, because now we have power bombs. My apologies. One more. Those guys can do a lot of damage, so I just want to make sure I took them out. Don't want to have to worry about that. Okay, more missiles. So that is now going to be the end of Sector 2. Okay. So a lot of stuff at Sector 6 would require us to have the Various suit in order to avoid the very large Core X, or the very large X that do cold damage to us. So we're going to hold off on Sector 6 for now. We're going to go back up top here. And we now have Sectors 4 and 3 available to us. Sector 4 we can do almost all of. But I'm going to go into Sector 3 because we can unlock the next, the level 2 locks here. Which just provides more freedom for down the line. I am going to safety save here again, just in case. We shouldn't have any issues here, but just in case things go wrong. We're just gonna come over here and break right through the wall. Quick power up on our way. Another energy tank. Very healthy seed so far. Honestly, I'm looking for a lot more missiles than anything right now. Missiles are one of the biggest ways to damage bosses. But there's plenty of them. We'll find them along the way. Okay, so now we use the combination of speed booster, high jump, and bombs in order to get the level 2 security lock done. And now this is going to open up this area to the X. There are going to be a number of enemies in here now that they weren't ever here before. Nothing that we have to worry about, but still. Okay. There we go. I always forget that while the power bomb is flashing on the screen, you can't grab any ledges. It's just something you always have to kind of wait for with Samus. You gotta let the animation play out. Okay. Hello? There we go. We have ice missiles, which again, we have ice beam already, but it does make our missiles that much stronger now too, so certainly not a bad pickup. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Okay. And yeah, we got a wish. We got our wish. We got another missile tank now. I'm just going to destroy that just to have it out of the way. And we're going to go over to the right here. This is going to get us another pickup in our next boss fight. I am going to safety save in here. Just in case. This boss fight does require a decent number of missiles, and I don't want to have to... In case I run out, I don't want to soft lock myself. Or have to just charge beam the whole time. This. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna hit the recharge room here before we go into the fight. Okay. We'll do all of this, and then we'll start backtracking our way out of Sector 3. Now that we've opened up the level 2 door locks as well, we have access to every sector in the game. Not the best pattern there for me. I did not do too well. You want to try to destroy the robot as close to the right side here as possible, and you can see that he then has to walk over here. So killing him on the left side of the screen just burns so much extra time, if you can avoid it. Plasma beam. Okay, so another required item for us. So now we have all of the quote-unquote required items to the game to win. We just need to unlock the level 4 doors. Which, we still need a couple more items in order to do that, but in theory, we've got everything that's absolutely mandatory. Okay, screw attack. Now that's an item that's going to allow us to just break open anywhere we want to go in the game. All the connector tubes, there's a number of tubes that connect the sectors together that we now have access to. We can go in between them all any way we want, and they're all random as well. Like which ones go for where. So a lot of times when you're doing seeds of this game, this is how we can get around. If the game gives us early screw attack, it's our cue that we're gonna have to do some real trickery to get through. In fact, I'm going to go in here. I don't have a suit, so this is going to damage me a lot. But we're here in Sector 3. And we have enough health we can tank this. Okay, another item. Got it. Alright, so up here is going to be another item check. Oh. Gotta stop my speed booster in time. Did not do that. I don't know if I can do that or not. I probably shouldn't do that. There we go. So right up there. Now that we have screw attack too, we can do wall jumping a lot more effectively. The game gives you a lot more freedom of movement with Samus when you have screw attack enabled. You can kind of go back and forth with her a lot easier. I'm going to see what the connector looks like here. And also, between sectors, on the right side of Sector 3 here, like it shows on the sign, there's always an item right here. Wave Beam. Wow, that's a really good pickup. So, that's going to connect to Sector 2, which we've already done pretty much all of, so I'm not going to go that way. We're just going to backtrack out of Sector 3 here, now that we've done just about everything in here. Also would help if I didn't just walk through the lava. As you can see, this is taking about, a little over 2 E-tanks from me. So something that is, not logically going to have, like, gravity suit or... It's not going to have various suit behind it, I should say. But, just to get it done, we know there's always enough health to do it, and we got to recharge room at every sector's beginning. So, really good pickup to get. Alright, so now we have a large number of options available to us. We can go to any sector. We can pretty much break open everything. I'm going to go into Sector 5, actually. Right? Yeah, because Sector 5 has the level 3 locks in it. We also need to do, quote-unquote, 2 trips into here anyway. We have to be able to... Actually, no, I don't want to do Sector 5. I apologize. I'm forgetting I don't have Various Suit. We can tank the damage in there, but there's a lot more stretches of ice damage in there, and the ice damage we're very susceptible to, so it won't just tick down 1 health point like you saw with the others, with the lava room. So we're gonna go the cautious route here. We're gonna go over to Sector 1, which traditionally, obviously, would be the beginning part of the game. So we have all of the power-ups we possibly could want in order to do everything in here. So let's put that at the top of our priority list, and then we'll We'll clear out Sector 1, and depending on if we don't get anything, we will then have to venture into Sector 4. But once we get Various Suit, that's our signal to go do Sector 5 and get the level 3 doors unlocked. So up here is just one check. Ooh, maybe I can get... There we go. Just going to do that for the sake of this. I'm also going to... There's a connector here. I just want to see what it connects to. If with any luck, it connects to 4 or 5. Alright, beautiful. It connects to 5. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to grab that right now. On this side of 5, there's one item check I can get, but then we're blocked out. So, logically speaking, there could be an item here of value. There's not. There could have been. Okay. Like, technically speaking, that could have been my Various Suit. So. Okay. Now we will continue through Sector 1 traditionally. And Sector 1 always had a really interesting property of all these atmosphere stabilizers you've got to do, where you'd have to run and use missiles and kill them. With Screw Attack, you can literally just ram right through them, just like you can pretty much everything else in this game. We are going to be able to clear the vast majority of this area. You know, a few things here and there that we might need to... Very small chance we might have to come back for, but... Again, about... I'd say 90% of this area is going to be done first run through here. We're also going to do another check out of logic in this room. This large pool of lava. See how fast it's ticking down our health? We need about 300 health in order to get this check right here done out of logic like this. And obviously we have well over 3 full E-tanks. So we're going to do that. Screw Attack makes all these hallways along a very, very easy thing. You see all those pillars, or the platforms with the striped pattern on them? They all can be Screw Attacked at all times. So, just makes life a lot easier to deal with. You also can see it says 3 atmospheric stabilizers remaining. We don't need to do all 5 for a randomizer. We're only going to do the 4 that are already on the path that we're on. Thus, we really just can't avoid them. There you go. Okay. More power bombs. So I went back there just to get a little bit more speed. We were able to get the activate speed boost. And fly the vertical shaft here. Back into the water again. That's what it's just as quick to walk it as it is to climb that shaft. Oh, where am I going? Got one step ahead of myself. Let's kill the X in here first. This should be a fairly quick fight. Being this the beginning one, it has the lowest health of any of the enemies. There you go. You can see they're kind of swirled around a little bit for a second before it landed at its final spot that we needed it. So that's why, again, knowing where it's like the final spot's going to be, you can kind of manipulate it to that space would be better overall. Some of those Beam Core X ones are a little tough just because they don't keep their eye open forever. So. So far, Sector 1 is not providing any progression for us. We still have a couple of checks left to do. Like I said, if nothing comes here, then we go to Sector 4 and take our chances there. Okay, so that's the last atmospheric stabilizer we're going to do here. Okay, that's going to be the end of Sector 1. The only other thing I'm going to do is I want to check the connector on the other half of the map. Oh, don't do that. I want to check the connector on the other half of the map just to see where it comes out. Okay, okay. We'll just destroy all the platforms, why not? And then we'll make our way into Sector 4. And Various Suit and Gravity Suit are really the only items left that we need to beat the game. We get those two things, we are home free at the 30-minute mark. Alright, Sector 3. Okay. So I know where that comes out. That's totally fine with me. Okay, into Sector 4 we go. We have basically everything we need to do, again, the first sweep of Sector 4. There are a couple things that we don't have access to, but we'll be getting there pretty soon. Ooh, that's a color. That, like, very, very toxic green. Matched Samus's suit pretty nicely. Alright, so, Sector 4 here. Sector 4 requires a number of items in order to complete it, including bombs, speed booster, high jump. Let's see. There are a couple different routes you can kind of take through here, some faster than others. I generally do this one that I'm on right now. It's a little slow because of the water, but all in all, it gets you everything basically in one swoop. This tends to be the only really slow part of it. All that for an E-tank. Darn. I always like when that one pays off because it's, you know, it tends to be a little bit of a slower check, like I said. Oh, hit the guy, please. Thank you. I'm gonna wait till this blows open this door because those blocks will stay broken. We're gonna come up here for one check. Okay. Now, you see all this, like, toxic electrical water underneath us. We need to get that out of the way here. And that's where Speed Booster comes in. We break through these blocks. And we get that water lowered down, so now we can safely traverse another sector of this area. Another E-tank. It's one of the things about Fusion. It's a very, very healthy game. They give you so many E-tanks. But things do hit like trucks in here, so it's kind of a trade-off. We are going to backtrack just a little bit here. this room. Okay, diffusion added the missiles, so that's actually going to allow us a traditional escape at the end of the game. Again, not a required item, but certainly helpful. So now we can charge up our... And it does make our missiles that much stronger, too. So you'll see when I fire them, it makes that big cloud go through. And that's just kind of the game's way of... like, spread missiles. And paired with the ice beam, or paired with the ice missiles as well. Everything gets frozen up. It's really good. Really powerful item. If you find it early, it can be required for a lot of traversal in areas. Freezing enemies and whatnot. Hello? There we go. Okay, we're gonna go see our next boss of the run, Ceres. Everyone's favorite. This enemy, casually, I think always gives people a lot of trouble. But a lot of the patterns it gives are predictable. Okay, another eye door. What kind of luck do we get here? No. Two. There we go. Third try. Not bad. Okay, so we're just gonna hang out up here for a second. And Ceres will come right here to meet. I'm gonna hang out here for a second again. Oh, I was a little late. He was a little late on his transformation. Sometimes you can get him on that cycle right there. Not the best. There we go. 2 hits. X is down. Or Ceres is down. Now we have to take out the X. And another missile tank for us. Now we've got way more missiles than we could ever need. But that's just how it goes in the Metroid universe, right? I wish. Can't do ball shine sparks in this game, unfortunately. It's just not a thing. Alright, so we got 2 more checks to get in here at the moment. There it is. Right on cue. Okay, so now Sector 5 is fully open to us. There's only 3 more checks I was going to get down in here anyway, so we're going to finish off Sector 4's first run here, just in case Gravity's back here. That's the only real item left that we need to beat the game. Which tends to be the case. It tends to be a real tricky one. It likes to hide a lot. So we're going to come down here. Just 2 more checks we can do in this area. I don't know why, I had a really good feeling about that one being Gravity Suit for us. So we needed the diffusion missiles to get down here in order to freeze that enemy right there, because otherwise he puffs up and he blocks your passage. Alright, you can see how slow this all is without Gravity Suit. But I've had Gravity Suit be in that exact location before, so I don't think I'll ever skip it if given the opportunity. Okay, so we are done officially with Sector 4 now. We're going to have to move on. So we'll stop at Sector 5, and we'll get the next, the level 3 doors unlocked. Like I said, Sector 5 has to be done in multiple stages. you'll see why. The whole environment of the area will change as we progress. Alright, so safety save again, just in case. We're at the point now where our power-ups are so strong, really nothing can go wrong. The only thing missing is space jump, but even without it, you pretty much can do whatever you need to do. Okay, so we are just going to go on a path to get to level 3 locks as quick as we possibly can. There's a couple items along the way that we're passing, but it's only because it's going to be quicker after we've changed the environment on cleanup to get all this done. There is one exception. I'm going to do this here. This check probably is the worst. Well, now it's not the worst, but it's an awful check in this game. I always have trouble with that one. That was actually pretty smooth for me. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we have to come over here and be able to build up speed for the booster. See, this whole section that's frozen, this would be causing massive damage to us without the various suits, so that's just why it's mandatory. Like I said, it wouldn't just tick down by ones, it would grab 3 or 4 at a time. It's heavy damage. Plus those large X they would latch onto you as well, and they'd also do heavy damage. Okay. And here is our level 3 door locks. Okay, so again, still the search for gravity suit is on. I'm actually going to backtrack a little bit here. There's a couple items that are down here that just make more sense to get now. Oh, if I can space jump better, or wall jump better? Oh, no. For some reason, the right side walls always give you a little bit more trouble than the left side. But we got there. And we got a power bomb tank for our troubles. This game is famous for giving you so many more power bombs than you absolutely need. It's absurd. Okay, so we're gonna go backtrack right to where we were earlier here. And I want to be able to get through this door. There's just a couple of checks here that are, I don't want to say out of the way, but not quite as good as we'd like them to be. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to damage this enemy and not collect the X, and he'll turn into this guy, which we then can freeze. Nope. I don't think I can reach it like that. I actually have to get that guy frozen. There we go. Oh no, that's the one guy I don't want to kill in order to get this check. Whoopsie daisy. We need to freeze him too, just like we did the last guy. That one doesn't matter. Alright, let's take it just a little bit slow there. Okay, there we are. I don't remember if it's regular bomb or power bomb. It's regular. Good. Okay. Now we need to escape out of Sector 5 here. and then an explosion is going to happen again, as seems to be the pattern in this game. Just a lot of blowing things up everywhere. But the game doesn't, you don't actually have to fully leave the sector. You can leave the sector the traditional way, you can go to one of the connector tubes. Anything that's going to get you access to another area will trigger the event we need, so... and that's what we're going to do. The connector tube way is just a slight bit faster for routing. So, we're going to do that. So we grab that check while it's here. Yeah, we saw this connector room once before from Sector 1 side. But this will trigger the explosion that we need. Perfect. Oh, that's... Get up there. There we go. Okay, phew. I thought I hit him just too high, but we made it work. Okay, this is gonna get us 2 more checks over here. Hopefully, more of these turns into something would be nice. No, negative. Okay, so let me think for a second, because we're at the point where some things can happen. We've got the data room here. Yeah, okay. Alright. There's 2 more checks I can get done without hitting the point of no return. Because you need to use Sector 5 here to get to the level 4 door locks. So if I can avoid that, just because it can really become a problem. Okay. Now, out of curiosity, let's see where this connects me to. Sector 4. Okay. I don't really need that connector right now, but we're going to check this data room right here. And if this is nothing, we're actually going to leave. Okay, so... we have a few options available to us. Oh, yeah. Forgot what room I was in. Now that there's an explosion, that whole bottom section of that room is filled with water, so we actually can't traverse it without gravity suit. That's why it's important to try to get all those checks on the way out. Or before the explosion happens, I should say. So we do have a majority of Sector 6 available to us. So let's go over there, see what is available to us. If nothing happens there, we basically, I mean, there's one-off checks that we can do in some places, but the next big place would be the main hub. Where am I going? I went past it. Too busy talking. There's the main hub that we can go back into. Like the main deck up there. There's a number of checks that we can do then. And then there's the auxiliary power area, which is a point of no return. So we might have to skip that for now. We'll see. Sector 6 could just solve all of our problems. As usual, I just want to see what the connectors are. Next to 4 at the back end. So, yeah, I don't have a, yeah, okay. Just thinking end game stuff, potentially. But it's not gonna, I can't do anything with it right now. There is one check, I should say, in Sector 6 that I absolutely am not going to do, even though I have the... Actually, I have the ability to do it. Let's just do it. Just show it for the submission video. I hate this check. It's I think, the worst check in the game. But, just in case it has to be done. There is another connector area right here. Let's see what this brings me to. Sector 2 on the left. Oh, right. I saw that from that side. I saw that already. Yeah, but since we have Screw Attack, we have Speed Booster, we have Bombs, and Morph Ball, we can do what I call the worst check in the game. And it involves triggering a bunch of platforms just correctly with bombs. And then having just enough room to Speed Boost in order to get one item check. Yeah, in a normal run, I would try to avoid this check with everything I have. Okay, and here we are. So it's like middle. And you see it, like it puts the left and like right here-ish. So you have to know the exact positions in order to get these platforms to come out just right. There's a number of vertical platforms there that will block your access. So you have to be able to do it perfectly. And we got Space Jump for our trouble. Wow. Not a required item, but certainly helpful. We then have to do another speed boost to get out of here. Okay. So, I mean, I take it back. I'm actually not mad about that check now. I still dislike it, but that just paid off pretty well. Alright, so we're going to come down here. I'm going to activate a power bomb while I'm grabbing this item, because the timer for the power bomb still goes even while you're frozen collecting the item. Alright, we're going to make our way down to another boss fight, actually, here. One-eye door. There we go. Second try. We take that. Alright, so you see the data room is destroyed. That's completely normal. I didn't hit. Missed. If I'd hit that first one, that would have been a really good spot for that. Cortex. Powerbomb tank? Okay. There's 2 more checks I can do in Sector 6 on our way out, and after that we're going to go up to the main hallway. Again, there's a handful of checks we can do. We'll just take our chances, see what happens. We no longer have to worry about wall jumping, since we have somersault. And actually, you can't wall jump once you have the space jump ability. The game, like, cancels it out. It's like, hey, buddy, you have the way to do this tech now. Okay, so So Sector 6 now is done for us. We'll go back up to the main hallway, check all those items up there. Once we find Gravity Suit, we're basically 10 minutes away from the game being over. Get up there, please. There we go. I was still trying to wall jump. Guess I'm just used to it at this point in time. See? Trying to go to the wall again. The funny thing about this mechanic with the wall jump in this game is there's such a delay that Samus has to be falling for, I forget the number of frames. I forget the exact number what it is, but a lot longer than almost any other game that gives you space jump in the Metroid series. I always get the timing mixed up. I'll try to go too fast and we'll lose her ability to jump around. Right, at this point in time, we're basically a rolling tank with all the health and all the power-ups we've gotten. So we're not going to worry too much about health and all that. We're also basically past the point of any soft blocks. We don't have to worry about any bad things happening now. We are going to go to the main hallway. Like I said, we do have Somersault too, so everything, the auxiliary room is now available to us and all that stuff. That would be amazing if that's where Gravity Suit is hiding. If I had to get the space jump in order to do it. You don't have to get the space jump in order to do it, but in order to get out of that area. Okay, nothing there. This also could be a donation incentive, if we wanted to, where we could save the animals in this game too, a la Super Metroid. It's, you know, doesn't... Just something that we could think about if we really wanted to. More power bomb. Okay. Up at the habitation deck here, this is where you could save the animals. I'll save them just for the fun today. Obviously it is slower, but why not? We'll have some fun with it. And there is an item check in here too, so it's not like a complete wasted time. But normally we'd just come here if we needed to, grab the item, and be gone. But for the fun of the video, and just to show the incentive, we would have to come all the way up here, and flip a switch right here, and this is saving the animals. The part about that stinks is that they're really slow about leaving. They take a long time. But there we go. That is saving the animals. Okay. So there's still a handful of checks I can do in this main deck area. After that, if we don't get what we're looking for, we're gonna have to go and start doing all the one-off checks in all the sectors. Which, tedious, slow, but it's the only option we got available to us. So, alright. This room always seems to have one block that, for whatever reason, the power bomb just doesn't take it out. It's very strange. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. Alright, so now we officially have our go mode. So, we're about 10 minutes away from this scene being over, give or take. Maybe a little bit more now. Maybe closer to 12, just because of how far away from the sectors we are. Oh, I did not need to do that. That was a mistake by me. Apologies. Just because of how far away from the sectors we are, let's call it maybe 12 minutes away from the end of the run now. Alright, so we're immediately going to go into Sector 5. And then that connects to the bottom of Sector 4, which is where the level 4 locks are. And then we just have to escape back up top to the operations deck where we got the first check of the game. We'll have our final boss fight with the SAX, and then we have to get to our ship and the actual final boss fight of the game, which is, I mean, these two boss fights for being endgame are, there's absolutely no danger of death, really, as long as you know what you're doing. The SAX can be tricky if you don't understand how to get a pattern on them, but you know, it shouldn't be a problem at this point in time. We have so many E-tanks as well. The risk of death is almost minimal. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. You see that the boss of this area actually destroyed all of these doors that were locked off to us at the time. So now we can just go through free. Come here, buddy. Thank you. And we need a gravity suit to be able to run through here and break these walls right here. Oh no! I didn't jump early enough. Darn. Gotta jump better. There we go. It's a very lenient jump timing. I just still found a way to not do it right. Okay, so we come over here. We need some sort of bomb in order to escape this area right here. Some sort of missile in order to hit that other block. Obviously, we have everything we need late game. There we go. And there's our level 4. Okay, so now we've done that. That triggers the SAX fight at the end of the game. We are just going to run with everything we've got to escape here. Oh, it helps if I go the correct way. I started going into item collection mode. Don't need any of that stuff at the moment, so. Get this done. Ooh. Oh. With screw attack, I don't need to worry about those guys blocking my path here. And screw attack just opens up the entire game. Like, part of you wants to see it early, part of you doesn't. Because once you have that item, everything is available to you. So. We're not even going to worry about health or weapon management. We don't need missiles for the fight. And our health is going to go down to 1 HP at some point in time anyway, so it doesn't matter how little it gets down to as long as we don't die. Get up there. Okay. As I said, we're going to run all the way back to the very first check of the game. That exact spot is where the final fight is. Alright, and once we get to the very top corner of this room, we're going to trigger the SAX fight. You'll hear, yet again, another explosion. How this building is still standing is beyond me. Ooh, I like her color, though. Red? Looking good. SAX looking good. Got into a little bit of a bad pattern here. There we go. That's a much better pattern. She should be just about done, too. There we go. She's down. Oh, I didn't let it charge enough. And there we go. Now our last Core X fight. Just gonna keep it on the ground here, keeps it simple. There are much faster ways of doing this fight, but you don't actually have to collect the Core X this time, you just kind of let it take its course. So it's not as bad. And once it starts going to the right there, that's our trigger. We can come up to the top left, the door will unlock. And we start the detonation sequence for this area. Okay, now we have, like I said, we have to head to the ship. And we'll get to the actual final boss fight of the game, which is really almost a cakewalk. But that was horrible positioning. You can see a lot of destruction in this room. I think they do that just so you can't have Speed Booster coming in here for some reason. I don't know. Alright, so we go to the right side of the room, then to the left. Omega Pyro looking great. I love the green. The black-green-purple combo looking good. So again, we get damage here, knocks down to 1 health. It seems like all is lost. That's the whole point. The SAX comes back and teaches us that this thing doesn't like ice. Hit it right in the chest. The SAX gives its life up for us. We collect it, get all of our health back, and it's time for the actual fight. Oh, it's swiped multiple times. I screwed that up. Alright, that should basically be the end of this fight. And there we are. Not bad. Not bad at all. Time is on the tractor beam pull up here. And time. 1:07:23. My IRL time on that. Not bad. We did a once-over sweep of basically every sector of the game. So I feel like that's probably going to be right around 60 to 65% of the items. Maybe even a few more. I don't know, because we didn't do the whole auxiliary area, so that was 3 we left behind. Yeah, we'll see what it says. We did get a pretty large amount of items, so. And we saved the animals. That was really nice too. That added, a solid 30 seconds to our run. So I'm just gonna wait and see. I want to see what the in-game time was and the percentage, and we will it off. I guess I should take this time to say that most likely Thoriel will probably win the race. He's a little bit more experienced in this than I am. If it gets to the point where we're playing and he just gets done early and I still look like I have a ways to go, we can always feel free to cut the run short. That's why we'll do like a 90-minute estimate time. As you can see, I came in well under that today, but there have been some seeds that are just a little bit more trolly than this one, so it's possible that I could go over the hour and a half time, but we'll keep that estimate. And if Thoriel wins, or if I happen to win and he seems to be far away, whatever the case might be, we can always just cut it short if we need to. Okay, so run through all the credits. It's going to show us our in-game time and our percentage of item grabbing. Insert infamous joke here about Samus being a woman. Oh my god, who knew? In-game time 106. Yep, right on par with my IRL. And the rate for collecting items is 66%. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so that is going to be the submission video for Falcon's Freak 02. I'm going to do the Metroid Fusion Randomizer race against Thoriel the Lich. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it, and hopefully see you at Slurpathon.